All right, so we're gonna start Solomon Temple of Time here, chat, aka the final Singularity for part 1. This will be interesting. I don't think I'm gonna struggle too much with the Demon Pillar raids, but I might struggle some with the end fight, especially because I have not rolled a certain someone yet. Solomon already? Solomon already. For this, I do highly recommend actually pulling open a guide. I myself am going to, if only because when you go into the node, the fight will have certain... Oh, no, wait. Aren't the gimmicks removed now that we're in the repelling version? Let me go double check that. I don't want to tell people wrong. Yeah, I'm not seeing at least that the original one does. Interestingly enough, do you understand? Your attack power will actually go up with your bond. This also impacts support units. So if you take a friend support, this can also increase their attack power depending on their bond level. Usually, at least meta supports will have really high bond levels on them. Damage dealers, it's really going to be a case-by-case basis depending on the person. For a lot of the stuff, you will just want probably single target damage dealers. In my case, I'm actually just going to go ahead, run over here, grab a Castoria, and we're going to treat this almost like it is the 90++ node, as I'm going to heavily favor Castoria Berserker for this. If you have bond higher than 10 on a servant in this, do you get even bigger damage bonus, or is it capped at bond 10? It should be capped at bond 10. Basically, the game back then was not designed with anything higher than bond 10. So it doesn't make sense that they would go back and change it. In the special tab that shows up in bosses, it shows the bonus. The special tab. What are you talking about? Yeah, I mean, you can see it like down here, right? Say, for instance, so you can see my attack strength is increased by 40%, which is already really good because I don't think her bond is actually that high. I think it's only like bond, maybe bond 6. All right, let's try to one-shot Floros. Now, if I were to turn the sound on whenever these demon pillars die, they would give you a god-awful, amazing moan. I'll just go ahead and send it like that. I won't do the other attack ups. Let's see what our firepower is here, since Floros is probably a big ol' nothing. Okay, so we only dealt about like 200k there. But Floros also, I believe, only takes 1 times damage from a Berserker, which is very irregular. So he removed any debuffs that he had on himself, but he didn't do much of anything himself. So we'll send that back with even more attack power. We'll see. I'll just kind of let this one go. I got lucky that I didn't take any damage there because he kind of spammed his NP damage up skill. Usually demon pillars have AoE attacks, though they can focus target people. But that's usually their crit damage. He'll be really close. In fact, that might have killed, actually, had I put the Buster card first. There you go. There went his NP. So it went really fast. That's definitely something to be a little bit cautious on, but ultimately, we're just going to go ahead and card him out. You can see cavalry classes are actually useful against him here. I believe the 3 knight classes take extra damage from him, and the 4 cavalry classes deal extra damage to him. And everybody else is like 1.0. All right, next up we have Nabarius. They are not threats to humanity. At least so I've been told. And looking at it, no, they're not. They do have the Demon God Pillar trait, but not really much that exploits that. Oh boy, supports. So again, I could take like another unit to try and like carve these up if I really needed to. I should be perfectly fine utilizing this setup, and I'm gonna try to continue to do it. But Nabarius here is a he is a saber, so taking archers are going to be to your benefit. Someone like Castoria can definitely do a lot of work on him. If you're looking for other units that maybe can be effective, obviously Berserkers are a thing, but there are other units like MHX, MHXX, MHXA that can all deal effective damage. And then if you're playing this on JP by some chance, even a unit like Seal can also be really, really solid. Super large in Sky. Yep. So somebody that actually buffs against Sky attribute is Nero Bride. Not the most charge as a support, but she at least has 30%, and she has 45% NP gain and a 30% power mod for a target against Sky. Pretty darn nice. Galar Chaotic Evil. Let me double check at least him. He is Sky and Chaotic Evil, yes. Which, that is definitely exploitable. Castoria herself is anti-chaotic divine, so she can at least abuse... sorry, Castoria Berserker. At least can abuse that some. Usually I favor things like NP gain and getting it up as soon as possible because it affects later turns. Gonna keep sending the full chain. Yeah, one-shotting these again. This is an NP1. I also don't have her very highly bonded, so expecting her to be able to like one-shot stuff is probably just not gonna happen. But she is quite capable already, as you guys can see, and even though we're not one-turning this, these fights are going pretty darn well and controlled. I'm not really in any danger of like losing at this point. However, Nabarius is also just getting more health each time we fight him, but that just is to be expected. Phantasm Moon hits all nights like a truck. Oh yeah, I mean, Pretenders are going to be something really solid for that. Particularly if you can buffer well. Now, there is the option of using someone like Oberon to try and like really amp my damage. Again, remember the issue with Oberon though is that if you're not sure you're going to one-shot, be very careful about using. So you can see this Castoria on support has 100%. Likely means they are very well bonded. I don't even know if I can see the bond. Yeah, I can't see that part of it. But it just means that it is, again, somebody that is very, very bonded. So this is at least a bond 10. And usually with someone like Castoria, she's one of the game's most prolific meta supports. Most players that have her use her so often that she ends up becoming bond 10 relatively quickly for them. But again, you're looking if you're going to take a damage dealer for somebody that's bonded up. Meta supports having extra damage. I mean, like if you have to card with them, sure, but it's really not going to be a big deal. Better to get somebody that can like nuke them with a Noble Phantasm or crit them down really hard. Those will be better things. Remember doing this with Berserker when I did Sullivan? Oh yeah. And Berserker, if we didn't roll Castoria Berserker, Berserker is who we would be relying on here. The defensive situation would be a little bit more precarious. Because again, a lot of these things spam AoE attacks, so they're going to get through, you know, like multi-stack duration defenses fairly quickly. The other downside is if you're taking Berserkers against this, Berserkers are relatively squishy, so if it gets through like your stacks of evasion or invuln or something like that, you have to be really careful that a unit doesn't die. So that would have been, if we didn't have Castoria Berserker, Berserker would have been our go-to. But honestly, I probably would instead be taking a damage dealer on support, just to be on the safe side, and I'd have like, say, Berserker in the back line ready to like NP if possible, as a means of like facilitating it in case stuff falls apart. Fell apart. Now, it can also be good to have a unit that has cleanse, or to bring a mystic code that has cleanse for some of these fights, because of the kind of one-shot gimmicks that they can have. We just barely failed here. Getting a unit that can cleanse your front line, or at least a key unit, is going to be really, really useful to you. Someone like Martha, Medea Lily, Asclepius. Trying to think if there's like anybody else here. There are plenty of units that have a cleanse, but quite literally, it will be invaluable for some of the raid fights, as like kind of turn one before you even get to act, you will have effects that will occur. Now, back when this was originally a thing, you had quite a few people struggling with the overall meta mechanic that was going on, which was that during these raids, and there were still like the story portion like we're doing now, but there were raids that would also grant a debuff. So like, for instance, let's go ahead. Let's take my my own Squirtoria here, and let's see how she fares instead. But you had people that kind of struggled with it because all of the bosses had their own unique, like, server-wide buff. And until the boss was fully killed and repelled, the buff stayed active. So there were a lot of, like, nasty effects that some of these had. Thankfully, you doing it, you're not going to get all of those. We'll just go ahead and send this. I'm not going to pop the Mystic Code buff because she's probably not going to one-shot. Well, actually, I might have been able to make her. Again, 100% modifier is a hell of a drug. Yeah, she's still going to kill. Despite the fact that I barely even popped anything. So that would have been a much more faster and effective strategy. So again, use a 100% damage unit. You'll thank yourself later. There we go. Merlin got bond date. And it looks like I could probably swap my back line. I'm getting F in chat for Barbados that is poor eternal bullying. It's so funny because they brought Barbados back in the Case Files event just because everybody knew that he was the best raid. So when these raids came out, they lasted technically for several days, but a lot of the raids got killed early. So Barbados was considered to be the best raid because he dropped whatchamacallit, Hearts of the Foreign God. And Hearts of the Foreign God back then were really, 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 really difficult to get your hands on. They did not have an actual farmable, like, drop point. So it became a little bit of an issue. And basically people blitzed that one. So the hilarious part of that, and I'm just going to kind of like go through each of these, chat, just to reveal them. But yeah, Barbados died, at least on the NA server, in 18 hours. Precisely, almost. And I know that because that was one of only 2 24-hour streams I've ever done. I was up for the full duration of the Solomon raids. I woke up as they went live, I rolled Merlin, and I immediately went to town on Barbados. And Barbados, like I said, Barbados is live for about 18 hours. I think I did in the realm, and you gotta understand, like back then it was a lot slower playing the game because we didn't have certain quality of life. I got about 500 kills, I think. No. Was it 500? It may have been like 1,500. Oh, it was 500. Okay. I think it was 1,500 overall. And that was, I'm not going to say like the highest amount possible, but pretty darn close to like how many maximum kills you could have. I have a link of the timers if you want to reference. No, it's fine. But like, basically that was the point of like how desired Barbados was, especially in the realm of like all of the raids. There were some people doing some of the other raids, but Barbados was brutally murdered by the server because the server, like everybody collectively was just like, we need those materials. And that was one of the reasons that I did the 24-hour stream. Okay. So let's see here. What do we want to start with? Let's start with Floros. So Floros is a Lancer. Floros should do critical up and pierce invincibility. And he himself will have a long-lasting NP damage up. The first row of people gets HP down, Buster down, and Quick down. This is interesting because it would make you want to use a single target Arts Saber if possible. But you can also potentially cleanse it. So like, for instance, I could use this right here, and this would be able to do a lot, but she is equipped with a CE that grants Mystic Code experience, rather than something like, how should I put it? Like extra, like damage output. I actually think the Okita here will be a really good shot. So one of the things I will switch for this one is I'm going to switch to the Atlas Academy Mystic Code because it has a cleanse on it, and I will just cleanse anything on Okita. So I will lose a little bit of damage output due to that. This boss has 700k HP. It is not going to be easy to one-shot. If I had a Black Grail, though, I certainly could. But I'm not going to go change stuff on my main account just to help this ult. Okay, she has one card after the fact. Not exactly ideal circumstances. And actually, it doesn't look like... Okay, so it looks like the debuffs are not at play here. So I guess because we are on the on the repelling version, on the final version of the raids, you don't have to deal with that. Which is kind of nice, not gonna lie. And also good to know for the future, as this will allow me to basically take different Mystic Codes and different setups. Like I said, I wasn't sure if at least, like, I knew the arts down that you get from defeating him would not be in play, but I was not sure that the Buster and Quick Down that it states he does at the beginning of battle would still be a thing. It's been a hot second since I've done Solomon. Basically, the last time I did it was on my JP account, which was... Ooh, 7 years ago? So it has been a little bit for me. I can, however, purge that. And unfortunately, this MP will not pack as much of a punch. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing the Proto Merlin NP here, just to give Okita some love. But you can use just about anybody then. Take your strongest single target saber that you can find. Or again, even if you have to, like a single target Berserker or somebody. Single target Pretender can also work. But take somebody that has really high attack bonus for the bond value. And especially if they're high NP levels, that can also be a really good sign. And also high rarity usually is a good indicator. Oh, we are at least getting some skill gems. That is certainly welcome. I almost wish I could farm these raids. It would actually, in a weird way, it'd be nice if they gave you, like, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 10 kills that you could do on each of these. Just for, like, new players' sake. Okay, that is section 3 done. Oh, seeing Musashi's NP is actually the best choice. Yeah, I was gonna say Musashi will shred this. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. Is it over here? Yeah, there you go. I'm actually out of AP. No. I'll go ahead and pop a bronze here. So for this one, we are going to be battling Fornius. He also has 700k. I would say get used to that. It's going to be a pretty common thing. Also, another version of mine that does not have a damage C equipped, but whatever, we'll take it. And since I'm going to assume that I'm not going to be dealing with problematic stuff, unfortunately, I also don't have the charge here necessarily. So let's switch this up, and I will actually go with the Oberon here. And we will try for the one shot. And I will probably regret it. Maid Altar is certainly capable of it, especially a 120 NP5, but this stuff can get a little spicy. So I'm gonna go for the one shot here, mostly because I know the unit and am very familiar with its damage capability, but if it comes in short, it comes in short. It's not gonna matter, but whatever. They're basically just gonna full buff. Just gonna use everything. As a rider, she will actually naturally soak stars, which is kind of nice. So there you go. 2 of her cards ended up getting it. So we can actually follow this up basically with a Mighty Brave Chain. And we don't have a Black Grail equipped, so this will put a little bit of a limit on the damage, but hopefully we can get some firepower out of this. That probably killed. Yep. When I saw the 300k as the final hit, I'm like, that's gonna do a thing. New player account made it to Temple of Time. That it did. And it's making its way through. Right now we are dealing with the raids. The harder one is going to be how to deal with the final enemies. The raids are, as you can see, one-shottable. As we repel each of these. Corresponded for the map theme of the main Singularity, yeah. Okay, next up, this should be Barbados. So this was Barbados Slim, quite literally our best raid. So you would definitely want a caster here. Let me see. I may have just the recipe for success. I believe I still have her up. That I do. Oh man, poor Barbados. Poor Barbados. So I have an NP5 Sanzang here with a Black Grail. This will one-shot. And it's so funny because back when I had to farm this, I'm trying to remember who I used. It may have still been Sansang. I think I had an NP1 or an NP2 at the time. Clearly, I got to work on our bond. Let's see what happens if I charge myself. She did get some of the stars. Let's see. She might crit. Gonna blow everything here. My first instinct was Cersei. Cersei can also work. Well, like I said, it did its job. The damage disparity between Sanzang, though, and Maid Altar that didn't have a Black Grail equipped kind of nutty. But that's just single target casters, man. Oh, there you go. Caster Coup is bond 5. Chat, who would you like to see for a Berserker pillar? Since we have open choices. You guys stop killing me. No. That's another kill now. By the way, what was the command for the raid numbers? I forget it. It's been so long. Solomon? Okay. Coup Altar? Coup Altar might be a little weird. Ah, she has a K-scope equipped. You know what? I dig it. Let me switch out my backline here. We can effectively bond. There you go, Mash is already bond 5 and I haven't even done anything. I haven't purposely tried to use her or anything like that. It don't matter at this point. I'm just going to go down the list. He's also bond 5. We're basically just going to keep going with each like 3 and 2 star now for bonding the rest of them, because I've gotten like most of my key units. Now it's just about bond 5ing everybody. Am I going to roll for Castoria today? I will roll, but it will probably be on tomorrow's stream. Because I have a busy day tomorrow, and I need to go to sleep so I can get up for that. Okay, so ironically enough, Summer Raiko is really, really good at things like raid killing because she has this skill, and this skill is a targetable 3-turn buster up. So you can put this on an ally. It is 40% steroid at max, which is really, really strong, especially considering it is targetable and multi-turn. Also, it cleanses. So if by some chance I had something like, say, an MP seal, I could just pop it on her and it would cleanse that. So really, really a nice unit for that sort of thing. Okay, I was gonna say, I couldn't remember if that generated stars or not, but we can kind of force it to. There you go. Now we have a 100% buster card. We'll make sure it crits hard. And you know what? I'll just add that in as well. So this, this is gonna get funny, I suspect. Mash is on every team. She is that useful. Mash is just because she is 0 cost. Really nice. Bet chat's wishing they chose Mama Reiko now on the 4-star ticket. It doesn't matter that she didn't kill, because that did. Everyone was busy watching the jiggle physics there. Cersei wasn't available during the Solomon raids anyways. That's a good point. I mean, like, after the fact, sure, but she did come out with Epic of Remnant. I don't think I've ever seen a Lancer Raiko in game, though. Understandable. She's a very rare unit. If you have me on your friends list, you'll have one. She is still on my supports, at least for now. I will probably overhaul my supports soon. I need to do that. Like, and I'm not saying that because of this account. I'm saying that, like, just in general. I need to do a better job of paying attention to my supports, and it's something I've let, like, get lax here a little bit. Oh, what did you say again? Exactly. So that was Halphus. Oh, I think after you repel enough of them, you trigger the next rung of story. But I believe you can still repel them all. I mean, double check. So we'll go to Throne 6. This one is h-AMON. And you still get a ticket for completing it, so make sure you don't skip these. Do every single one of them. It's worth. h-AMON was one of the last ones to die. He just kind of didn't have great mats at the time. Night medals were certainly a thing for some people, but it really just depended. So he is a rider, so we are going to want to use an assassin. I hate to say it, but obviously something like Kama here would be really, really solid. But I'm going to go with my 120 MHX just to showcase her. Again, I have a K-scope on her, which is not the best for damage. Starting charge is great, but damage output, not necessarily. Who is the single target caster? Medea? The one that I used? The one that I used was Sanzang. Was shooting caster out? No. New stream, who dis? Man who do wacky waving inflatable tube monsters. She got some stars at least. Probably be to my benefit to take something like Annie Blonde if I had it. But we'll try. We'll do the Mighty Chain and we'll see what we can get. She is 120 NP5 and MHX actually hits deceptively hard. She has had a lot of damage buffs over the years, so you can see this did pretty solid work. Now, using NP5 units and using high bond units like a 100% damage character is going to be really helpful to getting through these. If you're struggling with that, try to find or follow people on support that have characters like that. Medea, Sanzang, and Ilya were the only single target casters at that point in the game. Yeah, a lot of it was going to boil down to either using a single target caster or using a Berserker. Weren't Wailed Kentokis the most common hammer of the Demon Pillar shaped nails? Yes. Yes. If you knew a good Kentoki Berserker back in the day, you were set. Particularly if you knew multiple of them. And back then, I think I knew 4 Kentoki Berserkers that were at least NP3 or higher. So I was relatively set for friend supports. It made it quite easy. And that is, 1, how I got it done so fast, and 2, how I bond tend a unit in like 2 days, I think. May have been, no, actually, I think it was day 1 I bond tend Merlin. And then day 2 I bond tend Shakespeare. And people were like, what the heck, man? And I was like, wait till you see what I did with Shakespeare. Because I already had the Bond C up with him on support, and people were like, how have you done that already? Next up is Sabnock, and Sabnock is going to be our archer. So, obviously, I should take a single target Lancer, but the wife has my number. Sometimes you just have to, chat. Another little known aspect of Lartrea, because everybody just kind of forgets it, is that her third skill, her charge skill, actually has a cleanse on it. So obviously you don't necessarily always want to use a single target against, an AoE against a raid fight like this, but hilariously enough, if you could get her to do enough damage, it would work. I'm gonna go for the full Brave Chain. Unfortunately, if she doesn't kill, this will mean that 1, that she is bricked, and 2, that I'm unlikely to get that crit. Enkidu would murder this pillar? Oh, absolutely. But you know what, chat? Who needs single target? Arteria has Chaotic Evil as P mod, or is it Lalter? Yeah, she does. If you get it to work, it works. Exactly. John fucking Madden. Alright, so I believe that's all of our raid bosses. Or did I forget one? Nope, we got them all. All 6 of the wacky waivers. Okay, so the next one is our last one, Andromalius, the trash heap. And he is another saber. So this is going to be a good idea for me to take Squirtoria again. I will also switch off of Oberon and go with Proto-Merlin. Now that got a little bit of a leg up, but now we're going to switch back to an Arts MC. The Squirtoria is actually going to be really solid depending on what we have coming up here. How'd you like your name to be known as a trash heap? You guys think this inspired Gachi the anime? Like, the literal trash heap anime. We're just gonna go for the kill. She pretty much did one-shot the last pillar. So it makes a whole heck of a lot of sense to try in earnest. Super Ryan would definitely slap here. Give him some stars. Maybe get some like card shuffle. Try to line up a like triple buster chain, or even a double buster would probably do the trick. And there you go. Korea did it and got back to 98%. Hey, Fino, thank you for the raid. How's it going, bud? What are you guys up to? We're going through Solomon here on our end. Although now I think we're actually at the meat and potatoes. We just killed off all the demon pillars, so now we gotta actually take on the bosses. The trash heap was my favorite demon god pillar, understandable. Been a hot second, hasn't it? Actually, let me get you a shout out. Since my mods be slacking. Okay, now we come back down to the bottom, and we're basically gonna have to take on Solomon himself here. So Solomon is somebody that you're really gonna want to like try for in earnest. He can be a little bit spicy, I guess is the right term. He has AoE attacks, he has defense down and burn debuffs. He will constantly cast evasion on himself. So having somebody that has sure hit can be really, really nice. Having somebody that has invuln pierce can be really, really nice. Let's see, he can also cleanse himself. His skill that can increase his critical hit chance, NP damage, and NP charge by 1 point. So basically you're gonna have to watch out on him like charging up. But that'll also drain us at the same time. So ideally, having somebody that can just kind of carve him up would be great. Buff log at the start of the fight so you can't invuln pierce. I mean, you could definitely do that sort of thing. Hold on. Let me see. Do I feel like I had a invuln pierce C. It was one of the few things I got lucky and rolled. No. This one? Defense ignore. Still no. Still nice. Relatively rare, but apply ignore invincible to increase arts card effectiveness. That'll work. So the burn debuff going to be a little bit spicy. But we should be fine. I will go with plug suit here to rotate. And I will have to watch out for his AoE attacks. We're going to kind of have to get this one done fast. Can't you buy the Altera Larva Sea? You can, but understand that takes 25 rare prisms, and this account does not have that. Like, I could certainly go and buy one copy, but actually, do I have even the 5 rare prisms for that? I don't know. Actually, I also probably need to unlock her mana loading append, but I may sit on that for a moment. Yeah, we'll go with that. I'm a little bit worried about Lady Avalon here. Pretender against him as a caster is not great. I think he bought something else instead. I think I did too. Yeah, not great refund. There's his annoying evasion, but this is why we put the Invuln Pierce C on. And the good news is, there you go, we get free charge off of the back of that. We're gonna do NP gain up. We're gonna do that. I only have one effective card, so we'll just go ahead and full send. And this is probably going to boil down to... I'll get my 3 MPs out. He won't be dead. And then what do we happen to have happen from there? The Castoria Berserker NP is going to do a lot of like mitigation here that you wouldn't normally have. It's one of the really nice things because like back then we did not have Castoria at all in the game. And so just having the turn per turn mitigation against even just like one of his AoE attacks is drastically cutting down on the amount of like firepower he's functionally going to do. So he did drain me. That is unfortunate. He also put a defense down and a burn and then proceeded not to attack. He actually played that as perfectly as possible. That is unsettling for a number of reasons. Based off that, I'm going to do that. Castoria should get to her Noble Phantasm. At least we got good, effective damage out of the crits there. There you go. Now, you got to be careful, too. If you let the burns and stuff stack up, it can definitely become a little bit nasty. Also, if you're worried about him Noble Phantasming on a turn you do not want him to, it's a good idea to, like, kind of protect. I think I'll do one of those, and I'm just going to send it, but this could be spicy if I don't kill. We're going to give... basically Castoria Berserker the attack up here. Everybody in the party gets a stack of solid defense. Actually, it may have gotten multiple. I didn't see if we had the overcharge effect or not. There you go, got a good 100k out of it. The follow-up crit there did some solid work. And now we get to face his Noble Phantasm, which did nothing. Because again, Castoria is really, really nice for that sort of thing. He does have a crit damage buff here. In fact, he has 2 of them. He does have a crit down, at least. That'll counteract some of that. Looking at this, it is probably a smart play now at this point to just go ahead and pop my invuln. Use it rather than lose it type of deal. And we'll do that just to prevent any sort of, like, weird mishap, but this should kill. Yeah. And there you go. That is the first Solomon fight done. Again, if you're not running through this with something like Castoria Berserker like I am, keep in mind, cleansing would be really strong for this fight. Healing and sustain, so units like Merlin or Proto Merlin are going to be really solid. But also, you're definitely going to need some kind of, like, ability to either prevent him from getting to an NP, so maybe draining him with, like, Squirtoria, or NP sealing him to stop him from getting there as fast. Skill sealing him will stop his charge skill at least. And certainly something like a hard defense, like solemn defense from, like, say, a support Castoria can also go a long way. There's a lot you can do to mitigate this nowadays, but back in the day, he was a pretty nasty one, and it kind of became a killer be killed type of fight, especially due to his invuln pierce. Alrighty, let's see. So this is a gimmick fight. I don't know that it matters. We'll just go. There are still 3 more fights left. So while this is going on, I'm just going to kind of do my thing. I think it's technically possible to kill him here. I don't know that my account would be capable of it. Only have one of them, so go ahead and pre-buff. Make myself a little bit tankier. So Goetia is basically chaotic good. He is beast attribute. He has he has the trait of king, so you can actually, like, manipulate that sort of thing if you have somebody that's anti-sovereign trait. Doesn't he charge and buff here? Not this version. Damn, straight for the Castoria, huh? I see how it is. I'm not surprised. Okay. So, this fight will end when Goetia does his Noble Phantasm, but I would prefer to not let his Noble Phantasm kill me. And there you go. It just goes straight into cutscene. We don't even get to get hit by it. So I made that take a little bit longer than was necessary, but I like doing the fight kind of as I'm intended to do. Salmonius. I like that this song came on as the scene is playing. Feels like an AMV. Okay, now for the actual hard fight. So, this one is interesting. I'm gonna have to do quite a bit of work here because it's not gonna go according to plan necessarily. The other issue at play here is that quite literally one of the ways to negate this is to just go ahead and use Castoria. So there are two ways that you guys can deal with Goetia. Basically, Goetia turn 1 of this fight is going to charge himself to max and then NP and kill you. He will kill your front line. You can choose to either sack the front line by kind of inverting your normal class structure and putting a group of fodder units that are meant to die in. But then the problem is then you have no backline should you need to rely on it. So one of the ways that you guys can get around this is to skill seal him. This will stop him from being able to use his skill right away. Another way around this is to functionally buff block him. That will stop him from getting the benefit that gives him invuln pierce. Or the third way is to say, I don't care about your invuln pierce. I have solemn defense. You can't pierce that. So all of those three tactics work. It really just boils down to however you want to try to do it. Use Matahari to skill seal. It's definitely a thing, but I'm just trying to think about how I want to go about attacking this. Mephisto, that's the only place he's useful in, Sag. Nah, I'm just basically, if I had a K-scoped Castoria that was fairly good, I would just go right with that. But without that, this could get a little spicy. Debating who I want to use here. I actually don't know if this version spams evasion. I don't think he does, so I think something like Bloom and Spring is probably better than what I did have. Granted, the arts card effectiveness in P game there is not bad. I can't use MASH. Ah. Well, sometimes it's better to just go with 5 units than all 6. Let's try it out, see how it works. It'll either work or, well, no sense wasting time. I will say this part should probably be edited out. Just 'cause spoilers. I forgot this was unskippable. Yeah. You guys ready for summoning Solomon? Never really? It took me 14 turns to beat this fight after a few resets too. I mean, it just may be a problem for us out of the gate. The other issue at play here is basically his Nega Summon. Actually, yeah, maybe should have started out with not Waver in the front line, but if I lose the attack buff, I lose the attack buff. You can see he gains resistance against noble phantasms and critical hits for 3 turns. This will literally make you do 0 damage. So it's not wise to like use a bunch of buffs here to begin with. However, what I'm gonna do Gonna go ahead and farm out NPs in effect. Now, to be clear, his damage against noble phantasms and critical damage is 0. Or it makes them deal 0. You can still normal card him. It's just not going to do a whole lot. Oh no, what will he do? Oh no, 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 don't do that. Oh well. Favorable defense bonus here is actually pretty good. Yeah. I won't be surprised if Waver comes back out. The art's down is also problematic. Oh look, that did nothing. That, however, did something, and that is going to be a problem. Gonna stun him. Gonna take a free turn. Generate Noble Phantasm. Get my healing and my NP gen going. Okay, so now he has 1 turn remaining on this. I will probably just have to take some hits here. And this is going to get spicy. I still have the waiver duration buffs, but Castoria herself is a little unprotected. Oof! Wow. That hit way harder than I wanted it to. Yeah, his little chip skill does a lot of damage, but it's not impossible to deal with. He did a Kamehameha, yep. Cavalry is basically the way to go on this. He takes 2 times damage from him. And he is chaotic, so he is kind of in our niche, but... Jesus, buddy. I don't think this comp's gonna work. I am gonna be really hard up just to make something work here. Oh, that'll also prevent him from getting to his NP. That's kind of unfortunate. But he only has 1.2 million left. You got this. I mean, worst case scenario, you can pop seals and stuff like that. I forgot about how hard this fight hits, though. Actually, this might bait him into charging. But this is also the epitome of the type of composition that the invincible comp does not work against. At least not well. Still have my arts up for the remainder of this turn. If I can keep Proto Merlin alive. See, the problem is I'm also getting stacking defense downs. I'm just thinking, we're gonna take a risk here. Well, I've basically used everything in the tank. And we have not gotten him to halfway yet. Ah! Yeah, that's a scuff. Okay. We gotta play that different. Triple KO, pretty much. This is unfortunate because I'm going to have to use everything just to get through this turn, which then means that I will be relatively unprotected for the Noble Phantasm. I can do it, but it's not going to be good. Basically, we're going to go into full invincible composition mode, which is going to be that I'm going to end up using basically Proto Merlin's NP into OG Castoria's NP into Berserker Castoria's NP. You have to put Berserker Castoria's NP after OG's because she will only grant one stack of Solemn Defense. Hers does not scale ever. And it is a unique buff, so it will take the place of OG Castoria's. Plus, this will also get rid of the defense downs. It'll actually be ideal in that sense, but it's probably going to be the only way I survive this turn. But OG Castoria has 200% charge. She'll also be in the second slot, so she'll get an overcharge rank. We should get at least 3 Solemn Defense stacks out of this, so we should be able to mitigate this turn entirely. What are the issues with this fight? Solomon just... Well, sorry, I said Solomon. Goetia just keeps basically hammering you over and over and over again. So, like I said, again, don't feel bad if you have to use seals. I might have to do so myself at this early stage of the account. John Ruler Invincible comp works here, I think. Probably. Damn, fuck Proto Merlin in particular. Nobody else gets charged, just her. So, hilariously, the Solemn Defense will not stack on these two because neither of them were touched. But this will save Proto Merlin's life. It's basically the only thing I can do. At this point, you are playing for stall and just to kind of like see how far through you can get. I guess the other question is if I have to use my seals here, what is my strategy for getting through the final fight? Actually, that might not be terrible. Yeah, does Estrella have... No, she doesn't have Invuln and Pierce, does she? Yeah, the art's down is also just problematic. I can still protect the party one more time. This will probably save OG Castoria and Castoria Berserker, but this will not save Proto Merlin. Proto Merlin will die here. Estrella has Invuln Pierce, does she? Okay, I could not remember she did. Estrella would be a good solution potentially for the next battle. Also keep in mind, I'm using my own damage dealer, so I'm not getting very effective damage. One of the easier ways through this fight will literally be to take a 100% damage dealer. Oh my god, Proto Merlin is still alive. What? Well... No, we don't need hers. We'll just go with a full Castoria chain here. Because this might make her loop into another NP. And we might need it. This is actually like, I am hanging on by a thread, but I am hanging on right now. If I can get another solid NP out of Castoria Berserker, that would be great. But she probably... I think her and Proto Merlin probably die. Oh, okay, we got the NP. They probably die. Like, this will get mitigated, but he will follow it up. Actually, I don't need somebody that has Invuln Pierce. I don't know how this is working, chat, but it's working. It's like I stalled him out of his like burst phase just enough. And I am just barely hanging on by a thread. But this is also where like sustain really does matter, and having something like a Proto Merlin is really nice for something like this. In a weird way, she's not a good class to take against him, but it doesn't really matter due to the kit. Woo! So we're gonna drop into the triple chain again. Get myself a little bit of extra solemn defense. If I had had 4% more, actually, yeah, 4% more charge, I could have popped Castoria's, OG Castoria's attack up there. That would have given me 200% charge, and it would have given me another overcharge stack. So I would have had another solemn defense. This might be enough to get me through the turn, but I don't know what else is coming after this turn. I might start to get skills back, but it's probably dead. He tried, but this is my win, chat. Almost had my Mystic Codes back. Say goodbye to Goetia. At least this should be goodbye. I think the other thing that's helping me out too is the looping stacking crit downs. He's not getting his crits off, which is nice. I am earnestly impressed if I got through this without losing someone. I did not think this was gonna work. I thought I was gonna have to use my seals. Which, I mean, again, you get seals back every day, so I was kind of just prepared to do it and say whatever. His weak AoE charges you like 30%. Oh yeah, it's great. So, there you go. Smell you later. Got through the fight without losing a single unit. But yeah, I was like, he's getting low enough. It's like I could potentially just solo him with basically Waver and John there. Let's see, what does Stir Fry have? He's a newer player like I am, but looks like he's at the point that he's at least developed his account some. I hate that you can only follow or send a request. I'll send a request. I don't need to be following a 147. I can follow somebody that's like 160 plus. Railed Castoria, but still level 90. Happens. So there you go. We got a holy grail out of that. Now for the final fight of part 1. And this one's a little bit nastier. Cleanse is really good to bring here. The MP seal is going to be the problem. I don't think I have to worry too much about this one. It depends. I don't believe he has AoE attacks in this one. So this one may be a piece of cake, just depending. I'll take mine just for the extra health here. And one of the things I probably want to do is I probably want that for the cleanse. And we're going to start with Castoria in the front line. And that'll probably work out the best it possibly can. I still don't believe I can use MASH for this. I cannot. We'll just go ahead and send it. If you deal enough damage, he can jump straight to using the 10th ring for the NP charge. If, and I don't think I can, right? Like, the other problem is taking a Berserker here is kind of spicy because he deals 2 times damage against them. So the best way to do this one is actually to like straight up just take a rider against him or a ruler. Both of those will work out really well. Okay. Everyone was drained. I should have remembered that that was the thing. Actually, yeah, hold on. Hold on. Let me restart that. I know that took a second to get through, but quite literally I did screw that up. I was supposed to switch my my starting C. Actually, I wonder if he removes charge from everybody, including the backline. I assume it is, but we're gonna take the Ignore Invincible one because that's actually of value to me. Let's see, what else do I have here? Basically sticking her with something that gives her arts up. But yeah, like, honestly, this one, there's two ways you can go about it. One is to, like, go complete stall and actually, like, use afflictions and ailments to kill him. And you can, like, hilariously outlast him and just slowly whittle him down. The other way is to kind of do it how I'm going to attempt to do it, which is to just, like, burst him. However, at certain HP thresholds, this fight will have different effects. So to begin the battle, he starts by draining everybody. That's definitely going to be a problem. After that, he will, at 90% HP, seal the party's skills for 1 turn. So, like, usually you want to, like, assuming you're going to lead with, like, an NP really quickly, you probably want to, like, have everybody's skills out, if you possibly can. I don't have any Castoria Berserker cards, so I will simply go with the triple arch chain. 80% he inflicts a debuff on a party member that causes their attacks to reduce their own attacks by 20% for 3 turns. And that debuff lasts 3 turns, so it's kind of nasty. 70% he will seal the entire party's NPs for 3 turns. So that's probably the big one to watch out for. Just gonna focus on cleansing this and protecting us and getting Castoria Berserker back to another NP. But the big thing I gotta watch out for is that 70%. I need that not to happen at the wrong time. So he just got invuln pierce for himself just for the 1 turn. Interesting. I am not well situated here, but due to the skill seal already being used, I can potentially, as long as he does not get invuln pierce on the same turn that he NPs, I can potentially at least invuln any NP that he does. Okay, that's actually perfect. We're going to cleanse this. And I'm actually going to go ahead and pop the overcharge up here just to get multiple stacks. But basically, this is going to cleanse everybody's 3-turn NP seal, which now that that's done, I'm kind of in the, like, quote-unquote good stage of the fight. Now it's just about managing his Noble Phantasm and making sure I have ways to mitigate it once he does it. Okay, thankfully he used all of his effects. I don't remember what his Noble Phantasm does. Looks like it will reduce our max HP. It also deals 400% damage to all targets, but... Oh. What? Castoria Berserker herself. Interesting. So I have the play that I can reduce skill cooldowns, pop that on her, do that, and that'll help keep her up. That is probably the better play. Because this will also advance the fight a little bit faster. A Buster card having the 10% NP charge on it is also tempting. All right, he makes his defensive class affinity neutral. Yeah, the only thing I have to watch out for is him, like, wailing on Castoria Berserker. Because she takes 2 times. Proto Merlin should only take 1 times, and Castoria herself should only take 1 times. Okay, so we also hit the 50% threshold now. You put NP strength down on Proto Merlin, which does nothing. NP strength down will only impact Mr. Fox, thank you for the raid. NP strength down will only impact your NP damage. It will never impact any other aspect of an NP. So it's if you have a support Noble Phantasm that gets that on them, you don't have to worry about it. How's it going, Fox? What were you guys up to tonight? Oh, we'll do that right there. I've hired this Bargu to stare at you. I see. Thank you for the shout out, Bob. Appreciate it. The same thing he always is, trying to take over the world. But I hope you had a good one. Welcome, everybody. The new player account that I've been running, it's my 3rd account. We've been demonstrating people how to handle stuff. We are currently in the midst of the final battle of part 1. We actually, I was really surprised we made it through Goetia without losing a single unit, and I really thought we were going to, so that worked out swimmingly. Everybody is ready here, so we're gonna go ahead and do the whole triple setup there for the functional invincible comp. That'll keep me primed for a couple more turns. We just got to get back to another Castoria NP. Being a boojum, understandable. Finishing the event, got blasted on the 1 Gina banner and got caught up on the P event. Understandable. I was gonna say, the JP event's been weird. We've basically just had, like, story? I assume you meant, like, you were doing, like, your grand stuff, because, like, there's really nothing to the event proper, weirdly enough. In fact, I think we're finally gonna get, like, actual story for it in, like, a couple days here. And Kemba, thank you for the gift to Fox. You didn't have to do that. And chat, if you haven't already, make sure you go follow Mr. Fox for us. The CAD, since the banner comes out in 45 minutes, it might be worth it to stream till midnight just to do your summons. No. Nice try, chat. But the answer's no. Of course, he reapplied NP down to my character right after I cleansed it. That's just par for the course, it feels like. I got all of her Buster cards here. Aaron JPN got caught up and then rolled for Habby a bit. Nice. So how have you been on the side, by the way, Fox? I don't think I've got to talk to you here in a hot second. How is life treating you? Everything good? Oh, let's see here. So he's going to give himself invincibility at some point, but that's going to do nothing since my character has Invuln Pierce. I can choose to just take this one to the face, or I can Mighty Chain it. Let's just go with the Brave Chain. Let's do effective damage. Well, you know, as effective as we can be. Basically, if we can push him to the 20% threshold, he will hilariously insta-gib himself. And we did that. So, there's his Invuln. He removes all of our buffs. Oh, no, he didn't do it. Wait, hold on. Hold on. You cheated. You have 1,000,000 health. You're below the 20% threshold, you piece of garbage. All right, 2 can play it this one. You think he's some hot shit? Just he wait. Chat would never leave you wrong? Oh, no, listen, chat didn't leave me wrong. Well, I've been very busy. Dude, I know that feel. Been Been doing like 55 to 60 hours a week the last 2 months. Oh god. Going to hike with my cousin tomorrow. Hey, nice. Good. It's good to get out. First time he's done mountain hiking. I've done hikes before on like vacation and stuff. I haven't like hiked in the mountains in a long time. But I would love to do some more hiking. Actually, I may get to do some soon. Especially as the winter months are coming here. So, at 20% threshold, this is what he was supposed to do. Goetia basically reduces his HP to 1, charges his own NP gauge to max, and then deals basically a crap ton of damage. It's designed to stack wipe you, so if you have any units left over on the back line, you just win. In this case, because I had Solemn Defense, even though he had 1000% extra NP damage up, it did nothing. And so now I just get to go boop. And we let Castoria Berserker, who has carried us through the story, get the win here. And that, gentlemen, is the end of all of part 1. Nice to meet you. I'm glad there are so many people overseas who enjoy FGO. Nice to meet you as well. I love FGO. I play it all the time. And of course, I get all my AP restored. Of course. Hard when there are no mountains in Florida. True. Very true. Maybe I should go on the Appalachian Trail. Start at the south end, walk my way up to Ash. If you're ever up in the Adirondack region in New York, would love to go on a hike with you, my man. Oh yeah, I would absolutely love to. I'm sure it's amazing. I'm a big hiker and I'm trying to hike all 49 mountains in my area that are 5k feet and taller. Oh wow. I didn't realize you were that avid, but that's amazing. Like, yeah, I would love to do something like that. I've been trying to like get myself back in shape here lately. It's been a thing. I've been eating a lot better. I've been exercising a lot more, so it's been really nice. And I'm already noticing the gains in that regard. You best do it in a group. Apparently there's things in them there hills. Oh, I'm aware. I've done enough hiking to at least know that. I like how I think we bricked it, chat. Oh, no, there you go. There's the credits. And now, so once you complete part 1, you will get a little icon next to your portrait in the support screen. And there you go. Order restored. All is right with the world. Surely nothing bad will happen after this point. Official clock tower recognition? Yeah, more like official seal designation enforcer. Recognition. They have... Chat, I'm pretty sure at this point, the seal designation enforcers are looking at the protagonist of FGO as if Dokes looks at the protagonist of Dexter. And now we get the brand spanking new Epic of Remnant login screen. This is the way it was in the game. This is intended for you to do Epic of Remnant next. However, Epic of Remnant is optional. This is what the server had for a year until Lost Belt came out. So we will very quickly transition into the Lost Belt stuff. However, that will not be tonight for me. Because, chat, I gotta go to bed. I gotta clean the house. You gotta get ready. You gotta prepare the nest. But again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you all for being here. Good night. Hey, if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe, right?